Welcome back, everybody. Today we are going to be talking about CROBAT EX, which was not a deck that has really been on my radar much at all, but I've been seeing it do pretty well in tournaments here and there. It's a very low play rate deck, so it's hard to, really know the true strength of it until we give it a try. So today I want to show you guys how I did with CROBAT and where I'm at with my list. Before I throw the list up, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video. About 60% of you are still unsubscribed. I don't have any ill will towards you guys, but maybe one day you'll come over. Hey, look at that! Like Lord Crew! Be like Lord Crew, subbing live during a video. What a guy! So, CROBAT, if you don't remember what he does, or maybe you just never played with him, or maybe you're new to the game, CROBAT's going to do 70 damage for 1 energy and then leave your opponent's active Pokemon poisoned. With Nihilego, which buffs our poison damage, if we have double Nihilego in play, that will be 30 damage worth of poison between turns, which means you can do 60 damage just in poison between your turn and your opponent's turn, which is quite a bit, man. That's a lot of passive damage for to be throwing at your opponent. I love this. My opponent attacked with Mega Absol and takes a look at double rare candy CROBAT. I think I used up all my luck for this recording session right here, because I'm going to tell you, I was having trouble setting up CROBAT. A harder time than I've ever had setting up a stage 2. I don't know what was going on, man, but with the Nihilego, you only need 1 Nihilego and it's enough damage to knock out a Mega Absol in 2 attacks, which is very, very cool. So you might look at the list and say, well, if you're having trouble getting the stage 2 setup, why don't you play a Golbat? I think it was just variance, and a very cool interaction is that against opposing Chinglings, you only need 1 Nihilego in play, and then either with your Chingling plus a Poison Barb, or with a Zubat attack, and again with 1 Nihilego in play, you will be able to knock out opposing Chinglings. The Zubat with 1 Nihilego in play can also one-shot a Jirachi, so I'm not, too worried about the Altaria matchup and their bench sniping. The other ones, yes, I am, like Heatmores and Absols. Those guys definitely scare me for sure. In this list, I would say that these first games are going to be played, or some of these games are going to be played with an X-Speed deck instead of the Chingling. I think the Chingling and then probably the red card are the flex spots here. There are a lot of cards I think could be very useful. A Golbat could still be useful just to boost the consistency of setting up CROBAT. A Sabrina could be helpful. Maybe a second Cyrus, maybe a Lily. There are some cards in here that I definitely want to test out, but this is where I ended up with my list. I wanted to be able to item lock some of my opponent's decks, and using the Chingling with the Poison Barb on it is just very, very funny. You put down a lot of damage that way if you have a Nihilego in play, and it just kind of shuts down your opponent's Chinglings from being able to attack into you. This is a very, non-game, but I just wanted to show you that scenario of your opponent's Chinglings attacking into something with a Poison Barb and just being hard punished by it. Because this is like some weird Komala deck, right? It's not, I don't know what's happening here. But it comes to a very, very funny conclusion. And when something like this happens, you are going on the Tilly TCG channel for everyone to see. No doubt about it. You guys will see. There's also the Mega Absol. I feel like in a dark deck, you probably just want 1 copy of Mega Absol, especially in a stage 2 dark deck, right? The Mega Absol functions as the perfect end game attacker, or even mid game attacker if you are just not able to set up your CROBATs. The Mega Absol, the best feature of it to me is you're in the late game and your CROBAT has sustained heavy damage, and you will lose to a Cyrus, so you retreat into Mega Absol and hope to rip the Cyrus out of your opponent's hand. And then they have no way to win on the following turn, and hopefully your Mega Absol can just finish the game from there. I mean, it functions so well. It functions so well. It's not a card you want to put down early because of opposing Jirachis or Heatmores or Baby Absols. Because then, you're just giving your opponent a very easy way to win. You see that? My opponent attacks to the active Komala, put himself to sleep, and then conceded. You got to go on the Tilly TCG show for that. I feel like it's mandatory. I had to put that in the video, man. Like, you don't often embarrass yourself on the game and have a YouTuber recording it. So I like to... Hey, we're all human. I do it too. I've done it. I have done it. I have tried to use Magby, Pichus on evolved Pokemons to just conceded the game right there. I've done so many concessions out of shame, dude. It's part of the game, unfortunately. Our brains all break for a second, and it costs us dearly. A great embarrassment. What else to say about the list, man? Double Copycat to set up things easier. Those are like a given. I wouldn't want to play anything less than Double Copycat. Double Pokeball, Double Candy. Obviously, you need them. Double Research. Yeah, there's not like very many spots in here that I think can be changed. It's really just the Chingling and the red card. Both of those slots, I think, are interchangeable. Everything else, the other 18 cards, I think are pretty set in stone. You want double Nihilego. I don't think you want double Mega Absol. I think that's a throw. You don't ever want to start with Mega Absol because of how much bench sniping is out there. It would just be really terrible for you to do so. Look at this, man. Against a Giratina, I'm hitting for 30 with Zubat, putting on 30 poison damage. And what am I looking at, bro? I seen bench the Misdreavus, and I'm like, I know I'm losing my 3-card hand. What am I even playing against, bro? And I thought I was going to get back into it, but I only found the rare candy, so very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. So now we're going to have to switch gears in this game, right? Because I don't have Crobat, it's going to look like Mega Absol is going to have to do some heavy lifting, which I'm kind of fine with, because next turn, my opponent, if he wants to get this knockout, is going to have to attack with this Giratina. And I'm going to debate where I'm going to put the Poison Barb here. In my mind, like, he could have a heal. He definitely could have a heal that would make me want the Poison Barb on the Zubat. But I'm just thinking it's like such a non-chance that I would rather not regret not having the Poison Barb on the Mega Absol later on in the game. So I'm just going to stick it on the Mega Absol. And my opponent does have Pokemon Center Lady, so that was like an instant punish. But even still, it's not like my opponent is attacking next turn. It would have won me the game because I'm holding Cyrus in hand, right? I would have been able to just attack with Mega Absol into that other Giratina he would have had to send up, and then Cyrus it the next turn, and it would have been GG's. But we don't get there, so I'm just going to hope that I still have enough juice in the tank to finish this one out. I'm going to Darkness Claw, and I get to take a look at their hand and discard something. I got 4 cards in hand, so the Copycat's got to go. The Research, you know, whatever. Don't care much about that, but we're going to take out that Copycat. I'm going to try to avoid my opponent getting Altaria. He's setting up the Swablu, bro, and I'm sick to my stomach when I see this, because there's no way my opponent's going to start going for Singlock. I did have a game earlier today where I got Singlocked. It might even be in this video. We'll see. But he just evolves into Mega Altaria. And that's like, okay. I'm going to bench the Zubat. I'm going to Research. And then, following this, I'm going to hit my opponent with a red card, because I would really enjoy getting rid of some other supporter here. I want him to have more cards in hand so I can try to get, like, the other Pokemon Center Lady. And that's exactly what I hit. I hit the other Pokemon Center Lady. So that's a cool interaction with the red card and Mega Absol. If you're not already hip to it, you probably are. But you can just use the red card to get more supporters in their hand so you have a better selection with Darkness Claw. My opponent's just going to swing into the Mega Absol, and between the Poison Barb damage and my Mega Absol's attack, I can now actually two-shot this thing. So we'll just knock out the Mega Altaria, and that's the game right there. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. The Poison Barb, man, it's a lot of damage. It's a lot of dang damage. Now, what are some of the weaknesses of the deck? I will not say that this is like a new A-tier threat. It's like part of the big 6 of the meta. No way would I consider it that. And I think my big issue with it is that we don't have access to bench snipe. And with the way the meta's going, having no damage output besides into the active spot actually feels pretty bad. Like, it does not feel good. We're at the mercy of our opponents in that regard. The Heatmores and the Baby Absols, we can chew through if we're able to get a fast Crobat online. If we can get a fast Crobat online, they won't be a big problem. We won't even need a Nihilego in play. So you can go, like, if you find the one Chingling, you can item lock a bit, but you're really just looking for the Crobat quickly in those circumstances. And if they're not letting you get into Crobat because they're Chingling locking, a lot of those decks do play, you know, Bench Snipe and Chingling. The Zubats will kind of take care of that if you can find a Nihilego as well. This is a very weird game here, but so that's like my main issue with it is that I don't have any access to Bench Snipe, and I don't know that the deck can fit it. Because if we go up to, if we add an Absol in here instead of Chingling, it's now just a one of, which, like, I mean, maybe it's the fact that it's just one of them. I would really love to be playing two if I was playing Bench Snipe, but then, like, we go up to, what, 7 basics, right? 2 Zubat, 2 Nihilego, 2 Baby Absol, and a Mega Absol. We get up to 7 basics. It's going to be really hard to find the basics we actually want. And even, like the thought of the Chingling is, I'm not really expecting to use Chingling every game. It's just kind of... because as I was playing with the X speed, I wasn't ever finding the X speed when I would really want it, and then it'd be a dead card. So I figured, well, instead of that, let's just boost the odds that I start with either Chingling or Zubat, because those are really the 2 starters you want, or that's really the starter you want is Zubat. So if I just add Chingling into the deck, it makes it more likely that I'm not going to start with a Nihilego or the Mega Absol, because you just don't want to start with either of those for the most part. Nihilego needing 2 energies to attack is just a little bit slow, and you don't really want to put him in harm's way. You really don't want to be attacking with Nihilego like 99% of the time, because that is very valuable poison damage, which is pretty necessary in this deck, is getting all of that poison damage down. So I've just been locking this guy out with Chingling. I have not managed to find my rare candy. I've got the Crobat, but no rare candy. And I don't know what I'm playing against. Like, obviously, it has Greninjas in it. Like, the way it's playing out, I'm expecting it to be Greninja EX. And then I see a Fishing Net, so I'm like, okay, this is definitely some sort of Greninja deck. Like, hard focus on Greninjas. And then I see an evolution in a Frogadier. So now I'm feeling, like, pretty safe. It's not, I wasn't, like, worried either way, because my plan was to offer up this Zubat, and let him get knocked out, and then go into, like, Mega Absol, I guess, or promote Zubat, hoping I found rare candy off my research, and then attack with Crobat, and then attack with Mega Absol, discard a Cyrus if he had it, and let that win me the game. But he's not even going to attack with the Frogadier here, which I think is a misplay. The Frogadier has the attack where when you attack with it, you switch it to the bench. So you could have done a free 40 damage and taken no poison damage. I'm going to Pokeball, and I'm gonna research, and I still don't have a rare candy. This is what I mean, dude. I was having, like, the most impossible time setting this guy up, which, like, makes me want to put a Golbat in the deck. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, I've been playing so many Stage 2 decks. I know I'm just getting bad variants. Like, when I play Hydreigon without his Wireless, no problem getting the guy. At some point, I will find the guy. Blaziken, like, the Blaziken with double copycat, you can usually pull it off, and it's not even like that deck has any sort of Chingling lock to keep your opponent's hand size big. So I just know that I'm getting a little bit unlucky here. But if, I mean, hey, I wouldn't hate you if you put a Golbat in the deck. Not by any means. Honestly, like, the red card, outside of a few circumstances, didn't feel amazing. Red card to me has kind of felt like a whatever card this format, to be honest. But my opponent evolves into the Greninja EX, knocks out my guy. I'm gonna promote this, hoping that I find rare candy, and I don't. And obviously, I'm not gonna copycat for one card. So I'm just gonna go into the Mega Absol. I have Cyrus in hand, so if there's an Irida, I'm gonna get rid of it, and then hopefully just Cyrus for game. But he has just a second Greninja EX, so that's, like, okay with me. He's going to go down to 60 HP because of that 30 damage from poison. He's going to use Greninja's ability, switch to the bench. And unless we see an Irida here, I'm about to pack this one up. Even this Froakie is, like, fine. He's just going to Water Drip, man, and that's it. So we're going to hit the Greninja with the Cyrus. And this game was really just to show you, like, hey, you can kind of Chingling item lock and get poison damage down, and you can get through some of these Stage 2 decks just off of that. This last game is a pretty good one. I believe. Yes, it is this game against an Altaria. It gets an Altaria deck. Pretty darn good game, if I do say so myself. So sit back and enjoy it. Where would I put... I think that this deck, like, reasonably is a B tier deck. There's nothing... Like, I think it's powerful. I think CROBAT and all the poison stuff is pretty strong right now. I mean, the fact that you are able to go CROBAT and then finish the game off with a Mega Absol, I like that. I just think the only issue with it that keeps it from being A tier is not having access to bench sniping. And even if you put bench sniping in the deck, I think it would make it just a bit more inconsistent. It really wouldn't function all that well because of how much you would need. Like, imagine my bench... I mean, yeah, I could have an Absol in the active spot if I started it, but, like, my bench would get very clogged pretty quickly because you do want double Nihilego down. This Chingling, again, is just kind of like a... Like, he's here to eventually get knocked out in the active spot. I don't know, man. I don't know. And it would make it much harder to find the Zubats, right? Because otherwise, you have 4 Pokemon dedicated to sort of just being support. Like, the baby Absols are really just support Pokemon. You can't win the game off of just attacking with Absol. And if you're doing that and not getting your Crobat set up, like, because you can't find your Zubat because you have so many basics in your deck, it's going to pose a problem for you, for sure. But maybe it's the way to go. I don't know. I didn't get to try any of it. Maybe the way to go is to go double Absol, and then you're like, well, I'm pretty likely to start with Absol or my Zubat. And then I can either just, you know, I have 2 modes. I can either go aggressive Crobat mode, or I can go bench snipe with Absol mode. I don't know. But you see here, my opponent just locked me out of the game for a few turns with this dang Swablu singing, which is kind of whatever. I mean, I was sort of sad when my opponent got the extra turn to get the second attachment on the Swablu on the bench. That did not make me happy. But I'm excited that he's bringing up the Jirachi right now and pinging my Absol because he's not in damage range to get Cyrus, and I can knock out this Jirachi just with a Venomous Fang or with a Crobat if I'm able to find it. I'm gonna red card, like, just to get it out of my deck at this point. It's been hanging around in my hand for way too long. I don't want it anymore. And I'm gonna hope to find it, and I don't find it. I'm telling you, like, it is impossible to find the Crobat, apparently, if you're me. Just very, very hard. But I do still get the knockout on the Jirachi, which is really cool to be able to do that for just 1 energy. Makes the bench sniping a lot harder for this deck. Absolutely. My opponent sending up the Swablu. I'm expecting this Jirachi to go down, man. Or this Zubat to go down. I'm not expecting him to live. I see him evolve the bench one. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not getting knocked out. And then he evolves the active one. So he had both of them. But I'm very happy to not see another Jirachi on the bench. Very, very happy to not see that. Because now I know what I was worried about was losing the game by giving my opponent 2 points and then getting my Chingling knocked out. But obviously, that's not going to happen anymore because I'm either going to knock out this Mega Altaria or I'm going to lose. I use research, like, just hoping I would find... That I could find... who is it? Who's the guy? The other Zubat. But, again, these bats, man, they don't care about me. I'm going to attach the Poison Barb to the Nihilego. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to New Wave, get 50 damage on him this turn. And then put the Poison Barb on him, just in case my opponent is playing like Pokemon Center Lady or something weird. I would love to avoid that at all cost. And my opponent plays Sylveon, and, like, here I'm not... My opponent has already used a Sabrina this game, so I'm expecting there to be... Like, obviously there's a Cyrus in the deck, but I'm not concerned about double Cyrus being in his deck. He's already playing the Sabrina. I think it'd be pretty low odds, but he does play Mars, which I really wasn't anticipating. And that feels bad because now, obviously, this guy is going to retreat into this other Mega Altaria this next turn. So I'm kind of on, like, find Cyrus or die mode. I do find the Zubat. So if I can find the Crobat, which I don't, I can try to rip a Cyrus out of the hand and then retreat into the Crobat. I'm just going to get all the guys down. Again, I'm not, like, worried about Jirachi. If he has a second Sabrina, I lose, but I'm not expecting that either. My opponent has no supporters in hand. Just a Sableye and a Chingling and a red card. So it's coming back to me. He uses Alicia, so at least I know that he doesn't have anything. And he has 3 cards left in deck right now. So I'm expecting one of those, only one of those is a Cyrus. And he's going to come in with this Mega Altari and swing on my Mega Absol. Now, I either need Crobat or Cyrus, and I'm feeling okay. But I top deck the Cyrus. So I'm going to Cyrus up that Mega Altaria, knock it out. And that is the game right there. A very, very close one. But I think it showcased quite a few different things. How strong the Zubat can be into those Jirachis, into Chinglings. If he had put it down, it would have just been an easy point for us. And I don't know, man. Maybe playing some Absols is the way to go in here. Let me know if you guys have tested that at all. I think it's worth looking into. I don't know how good it's going to be, but I think it's at least trying out. And now we're here at the end of the video. I don't have much more to say. Honest ranking of the deck, it's like a B tier deck. It is fun. I think it is powerful. If it pops off, it can go absolutely insane. And the last thing I'll leave you with is my question of the day. I've been watching a lot of Flash game videos, and I played a lot of Flash games. And I have my age demographic, so I know all of you guys are old like me. What was your favorite Flash game back in the day, man? I think mine was a game called Dots. And my favorite website was not Doppler, but there was this game called Dots, and you would just move the arrow keys, and you'd pick up dots, and you'd get points, and then you would unlock new little balls that you used to move, and they'd have different power levels and different speeds or whatever, different sizes. That was like the most addicting game to me. But like there are some classics, man, like Age of War, Raft Wars, any of those games where you gotta grind. Toss the turtle, bro. Wait, I might change my answer to Toss the Turtle. All right, that's enough because you guys are probably all clicking off the video, but let me know what your favorite Flash game is. Subscribe to the channel, like the video on the way out. I'll see you on the next one.